If somebody tries to copy my look and to be like me, it's very evident that they have issues and you can't help them. Hi everyone, welcome back to No Light Tarot. My name is Hallie, so grateful to have you all. So I recently did a video for members only about Liam Payne and his connection to a frenemy, and I got some feedback about a situation. Well, some of you had said you've been through a frenemy situation, and it inspired me to do this video because I want to talk about a frenemy that I had this year. So I'm recording this on the 19th of December, and this year it's just made me realize, I'm 35, I'm about to be 36. I learned a whole lot. I think I learn a lot about friendships all the time, but particularly this year. I moved to a new city exactly 3 years ago. Well, 3 years, 3 days ago. And I learned so much about being friends with people and so forth. Every city that I've moved to, I've learned a lot about friendships, because I've had to make new friendships when I move. When I moved from New York to LA in 2017, I kept a lot of my friends because some of my friends moved. In fact, one of my really good friends had moved there too, so I kept her as a friend. We lived far away, so we didn't really see each other. But in Miami, I had to start from scratch with friends. And it's really been a growing process because I've learned, maybe also because I'm getting older, but I've really learned what friendship means, particularly this year. So I was speaking in the video that I did for members only. If you want to become a member, check it out. I spoke about how frenemies can really be your demise. So if you have any frenemies, this is my caution to you: get rid of them. And this is my story that I have about one particular frenemy. In fact, I had two very clearly. In fact, they're still friends with each other, and I tried to continue to be friends with one, but that didn't work out, and I'll explain to you what happened. So when I started, I've been at my current job for quite some time, a few years. And when I started, I've always had the New York mentality, being from New York, being born in New York and having lived in New York a very long time. I always had the mentality that at work comes first. And in New York, that works, but in other places, it doesn't. I've seen that in LA. I've seen that in Miami, that people want to be friends with each other to help one another kind of propel. So they'll give each other, I don't know, it's just a different environment. People prefer to be friends rather than just get the work done. So I've noticed that. With that being said, the fact that I am about work mostly, I've seen it intimidate people. And with that intimidation, I've seen, I wouldn't say enemies per se, but just people being, like I said, intimidated, but also saying that, using phrases like, I don't like her energy, stuff like that, when I have very clear energy, I'm very to the point, I'm not perfect, but when you're at work, you're supposed to get things done. So I just want to talk about that because I feel like there's a lot of frenemies. Anywhere you work, you will have frenemies. Not so much in New York, And I was telling a friend this the other day that I feel like in New York, I didn't really have major problems with people, especially in work situations, and it's been in other places that I have, because something that I miss about New York, and I did leave New York for a reason, there's a reason why I don't live there, but something that I miss about New York is that people are very blunt. They're very to the point. If you're not for them, leave them alone. They won't be fake with you just to get something from you. And that was very much a theme in LA, but I also see it in some parts of Miami, and not everybody's like that, like it is a culture in LA, but I do see it in certain circumstances. Which brings me to my frenemy. So we met, obviously, when I started working at the job that I have. And when we met, we didn't really bond that much. But one day we started talking about reality TV, and we bonded so much about reality TV because I say this all the time. If you watch my channel consistently, I love reality TV. I love it all. I love Traitors. I love Survivor. I love all reality TV, Housewives. So whenever somebody's interested in reality TV, I always bond with them. In fact, I had a former colleague from a long time ago in New York. Then now she's like a big Bravo blogger. We used to talk about reality TV. We were the only people at work used to talk about reality TV because that's how much I love it. We used to talk about Vanderpump Rules back in the day. This was like 12 years ago. And now I just saw she's doing like a big blog. I'm so happy for her. She was such a sweetheart. But so we became friends off of that, and we used to talk about reality TV. We used to talk, then we developed a friendship. And I would always notice that she would talk about other people. You know how they always say, if you see a friend talking about other people, they're probably going to do it to you. And for some reason, I let that slide because we used to have a great time together. She's lots of fun. She's very funny. She has a lot of great attributes. And I think because of her great attributes, I was willing to look past the fact that she would backstab people. She would tell me people's secrets, and I would tell her, I don't think you should be telling me this. She would tell me people's secrets that people had told her, and I would say, I don't really think that you should be divulging that. Like, I wouldn't want you to divulge that with me. So I kept it in the back of my mind. I locked it in. And then we had this other friend who I had a fallout with, and it was while I was sick. I don't know if you guys remember, if you follow my channel, I got really sick. I had a stomach infection in August, end of July, beginning of August, where I had to be hospitalized. And when I was in the hospital, we would talk, but she didn't really come check up on me. I asked her to get me something. She was like, oh yeah, I'll get it. And then she disappeared, stuff like that. And that just made me kind of think, hey, this is not what real good friends do, So I was just quiet about it. And I was like, let me just see how this is going to pan out. So I afterwards had planned for us to go to see a heritage site because I love seeing outdoors. So I planned, and I said, okay, this date, let's set it for the heritage site. And she was like, yeah, I'm in. She said, I'm down, word for word. So the day comes. I sent her the map the day before. No response. The day comes, no response. I'm like, you know what? Whatever. Basically, standing me up. And I see her, obviously, because I have to work with her, and I see her, and she's just I told her, hey, what happened to us seeing each other? She's like, she blamed it on another friend of ours, and she said, I shouldn't have been hanging out with her because she gets me drunk. And I was like, what about accountability? I said to her, what about accountability? Like, this is on you, And complete zero remorse, acted like she really didn't care. I was very disappointed in her, very disappointed, and I told her that. And from that moment on, I just could not be friends with her. And I told her, I cannot be friends with you. I'll work with you, I'll be respectful, but I cannot be friends with people like that. And then once I stopped being friends with her, I started to remember things. I started to remember when she was telling me things about other people, she's smiling in their face, and I would think to myself, this is very odd. Like, why are you telling me things about people that you wouldn't say to their face, And sometimes I do see her, like, she'll gossip about me, she'll say stuff about me right in front of me, but I'm strong, I can handle it, and I don't really care. But what used to really bother me is that, and she still does it to this day, because we haven't been friends in months, but she still does it to this day, where she will copy a look I have. So if I get highlights, she'll have highlights. When I had pink hair, she got, like, pinkish hair. Stuff like that. And to me, that is very creepy. And in this experience, in this lesson, because there was another friend in the mix too, it's really taught me that frenemies can really be your demise, And frenemies, like Judas to Jesus was, they will help put you in the coffin if they can. And if you have a frenemy, you know, a lot of time you'll hear, keep your enemies close, keep your friends close, your enemies closer. And that's what creates frenemy culture. And I think a part of me was afraid that she would be mean to me. That's why, because I would see how she would be mean to other people. And so I was afraid to really stand up for myself. That's why I stayed friends with her, because I was like, oh, I'll be on the receiving end of it. And there are times where it does bother me. I hear her talking about me and it does bother me. But I'd rather her talk about me and I'm not her friend than her talk about me when I am her friend. Because for me, friendship is real. It has to be real. It has to be authentic. And the irony in all of this is that when I hear her speaking about me to people that I know she's spoken about and gossiped about and said horrendous things about, it just reminds me that I'm good without that friendship, because I don't need friends like that. And my real good friends, I mean, my solid good friends, my best friend, we've been best friends for over 20 years. And my real good friends, we've been friends for at least 10 years, you know? So, and we've never had situations like this. So when I encounter fake friends like this, I just remember what it's like. And I focus on my other friends who are really there for me, who do really support me, who I know would never say anything nasty about me behind my back. And that's the thing about work situations, is that you're going to come across people like this. But you have to be firm enough in yourself and stand firm in yourself enough to know that those people are very insecure, you know? And even the other friend that we had, who they're still friends with each other, I think they'll always be friends, even though the one in between gossiped a lot about the other one. They are very insecure. It's only insecure people who find it necessary or feel the need to be so unkind and to be two-faced. When you are authentic, you don't mind telling the truth. But when you're not, you live a double life, you know. And that's why you'll find a lot of these frenemy types, they drink a lot. They often are potheads. They do things to suppress how they feel, to suppress their emotions, because they haven't dealt with themselves. Because people that have dealt with themselves, who know what they're capable of, who know that they're not perfect, they don't walk around trying to prove to everybody how great they are. They just live. And I'm very grateful that I've seen this lesson, because it has cemented in me that I do not want to be friends with people that smile in your face, tell you're pretty, and then they're trying to copy your look, you know. And I even remember this friend, she's a Leo, which is very interesting, because I'm starting to question if I should like Leos as much as I have. But she would tell me that she wanted to get a tattoo exactly like mine and copy my look and stuff like that. And it's just, people, especially as a sun in Aquarius, if somebody tries to copy my look and to be like me, it's very evident that they have issues. And you can't help them. They have to deal with that themselves. So that's been one of the biggest lessons I learned in 2024. You know, and I feel partially like I could have seen the signs more, but I wanted to trust, because I believe in trusting people. I believe in being open to people. But something that I've learned from this, and still having to deal with her in some capacity, is that someone's opinion of me, especially an insecure person, their opinion of me does not matter. They need to deal with themselves first, and then they can come to the table and offer something that's of value. And that's another thing about why I'm picky with friendships. I had a video about that. I'll put a card up about it, because, you know, I'm not crazy about Oprah, but something that she said before has stuck with me. She said, if you have friends that give you a sneer if you mention something positive about yourself, and vice versa, you know, if you feel this feeling in you that if a friend says, oh, I'm doing this, and they're not happy for you, or they have like this face, drop that friend. Drop that friend, because they are not at peace with themselves. And when you are not at peace with yourself, or you invite energy into your life of someone who's not at peace with themselves, they will harm you in some capacity, whether it's through words, whether it's physical. They will do something to you one day, and you're gonna blame yourself. So that's my story of frenemies, and why I don't have any frenemies. This cemented that story for me completely, because like I said, in New York, majority of my adult life I lived in New York, so I don't really have to deal with frenemies, because there aren't really frenemy types in New York. The city isn't made to deal with people that are fake. But in cities that I see where there's pretentiousness, I love Miami, but there is a sense of pretentiousness here. It creates an insecurity in certain people, and they go about it in a sneaky and fake way. So that's what I have for you guys. I would love to hear a story if you have any frenemy situations, because it is a very common thing and we don't really talk about it. We don't talk about how, people that secretly compete with you and they're best friends with you, they try to keep you close as an enemy because they want to be like you. They want to be you. So it's a very tricky situation, but I'm telling you, get rid of them. They're toxic. Very toxic. So, and they'll never really be happy for you. They won't. They won't. So that's what I have for you guys. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching.